In Hualien, students from TCU and TCU-ST serve a large vaccination station. Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers reach out to a Burmese refugee family facing financial difficulty. Welcome to the Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. In Taiwan, Hualien City Medical Center has held large-scale vaccination events for the public. At the vaccination station, besides medical professionals, teachers and students from TCU and TCU-ST have also come to serve the residents. They're gaining hands-on experience and applying what they learn at the schools. Let's join them there.
The medical volunteer explains things to watch out after vaccinations, so seniors can feel more at ease.
She's very friendly and sincere. She'll think for the seniors. She does not look up to watch them. She kneels down. I think patients feel she's very friendly.
Wang Zhen is a medical student at TCU. As an indigenous public-funded student, she has to come to help out at vaccination station, hoping to learn and have more hands-on experience.
Our main job is to provide health knowledge. I think that by getting closer, they'll hear more clearly. Before I came here, they gave us some frequently asked questions and answers, so we can prepare to answer their questions.
Besides preparing the students, teachers from TCU also demonstrate how they can provide health knowledge to seniors with ease.
As a teacher, I need to see the way she shares knowledge with the seniors. It is an interaction. I believe the students will be an expert in sharing health knowledge with the public.
Nursing students from TCU-ST used their summer vacation to learn from medical professionals ways to give vaccination shots. From watching the news, I thought that giving vaccination shots is an easy task, as one is in an air-conditioned space. However, in reality, it is not that easy. I get to experience difficulties I would encounter at workplaces. I get to learn first. These future medical workers have volunteered at vaccination station, combining what they learned at school with real hands-on experience.
At Dalian City Hospital, the last recovered COVID-19 patient has been discharged. It symbolizes the end of dedicated wards. Medical workers celebrated the occasion and returned to their original units to serve patients in need.
那我预计9点55分的时候要把病人从12楼带下去。
As the last recovered COVID-19 patient left the hospital, nurses hugged each other to celebrate.
You are all beautiful angels. Thank you.
Bye bye. I got you. 要保重哦。好。
After the patient left the hospital, it brings our job to a perfect ending because she recovered and is laughing while she said bye to us.
As the patient walked out of the hospital, this brought closure to the dedicated wards, symbolizing the end of the phase. I am glad that the patient we are taking care of successfully left the hospital one by one. I hope the next time we meet isn't at the dedicated wards, but at a party. After 55 days of working, doctors and nurses will return to their original units, as everyone made grateful remarks.
Because actually we're from different units, so it took us quite some time to get used to each other. It worked out because we're willing to work as a team.
I'm happy that we accomplished this mission, and at last we hope to defeat the virus.
Though the virus has torn many apart, the medical team worked harder to bring warmth to people in need.
In Taiwan, as the pandemic situation became serious, a nonprofit organization has worked hard to help 1,000 Burmese students study in Taiwan. Due to the pandemic, many part-time working Burmese students have lost their jobs. As a result, they face financial difficulties. Upon learning of their plight, the nonprofit organization has gathered supplies for them. But due to limited resources, some students still have to undergo hunger. The association calls for help as the supplies will allow students to study without worries. Here's our report. Tzu Chi is from Myanmar. He's a senior student in NTUST's Department of Civil and Construction Engineering. After some Taiwanese students left, Tzu Chi is alone in the dormitory. He can't leave since the pandemic is still in place.
After Level 3 alert, job opportunities were limited, and I couldn't even find chances to work.
There are about 1,000 Burmese students in Taiwan studying to make sure they get a job in Taiwan post-graduation. Student Tzu Chi once took on 3 part-time jobs, earning his tuition.
From Monday to Friday, I work at construction sites. On Saturdays, I work at a restaurant. I also help my teachers with tasks. Sometimes if I wanted to save money, I would skip breakfast.
In order to save money, many students control the food budget within 75 NT dollars, as they still have to worry about their tuition.
Tuition is the main issue for Burmese students. If they're in public institutions, it's about 40,000 NT dollars. If they study at a private institution, the tuition is more than 60,000 NT dollars.
The tuition prices of 40 to 60,000 are high to Burmese people. Around February this year, the Myanmar coup had forced the country to lock down borders economically, blocking the money transfer from Tzu Chi's home, though he's quite lucky to receive an internship opportunity through connections.
At times like this, I receive 24,000 NT dollars per month from my internship.
The 20,000 NT dollar monthly paycheck allows a student to make it through. Yet over 1,000 Burmese students in Taiwan have lost their jobs due to the pandemic. Some even are forced to eat bread every day, suffering from hunger.
When we have economic difficulties, during hungry times we would buy bread from the supermarket. We eat this every day. If we are very hungry, then we would eat 2 slices at once.
Even a 10 NT dollar instant noodle pack without sauce and ingredients is a satisfying meal for Burmese students.
我们等一下去给他一盒。我们一人一份了。对啊。好，那这个泡面就再等一下吧。
Witnessing the sufferings of Burmese students, Zhonghua Mandalay Kongjia Alumni Association's workers often bring lunchboxes to the students. After the pandemic, alumni gather supplies every day, helping Burmese students as this task only gets busier over time.
We drove 2 vehicles. In the morning, we went from Taipei to Taichung. Afterwards, we went from Taichung to Kaohsiung. We basically finished our trip within a day.
Cui Yongyan has been in Taiwan for over 30 years, as she's the director in Zhonghua Mandalay Kongjia Alumni Association. After seeing Burmese students suffering, she couldn't hold back her tears.
These students are so poor to the point where they have to borrow money from their peers. After hearing this, I had tears in my eyes.
Cui Yongyan also left Myanmar, coming to Taiwan and working her way up, as she told us that when she was young, she also had to bear hardships.
During the pandemic, I thought of when I first came here, 1 plane ticket and money from my parents. My first week in Taiwan, I started to do work at home to earn my tuition.
There are many people who need help during this pandemic. Cui Yongyan hopes that society may help more Burmese students. Even a tiny chance would change their life. In Selangor, Malaysia, Burmese refugee Rafiq could not afford to pay his rent. As a result, he had to sleep on the stairway for 2 weeks. His wife's medical expenses have also been a heavy financial burden for him. Upon learning of his plight, city volunteers went to care for him, bringing supplies and subsidies. Since Burmese refugee Rafiq has not been paying his rent for several months, he has been sleeping on the stairways.
It gets cold here. At 1 a.m., one will feel cold.
His wife, who is pregnant, has been staying at a relative's place. She gave birth at the end of June, but the medical expenses is a heavy financial burden.
They cannot go to government-run hospitals, and they do not have money to go to private hospitals. So we thought that we must hold distribution soon.
Dah berapa bulan pun tak bekerja kan, dah lockdown.
Due to the lockdown, I have not been working for several months. My employer has not paid me for my previous work. Fortunately, some people gave food to us. My landlord has also given us some food. Volunteers have come to assess their conditions and provide emergency subsidies. They have also brought baby products.
Ada susu, 2 kotak susu, pampers, ini mask, okay.
Sewa 1,100. Itu awak kena selap pagi itu yang tuan rumah lah. Lagi itu 300 untuk yang awak guna makanan ke semua boleh lah.
Before the pandemic, Rafiq had some incomes. However, the movement restriction order has affected his work. Rafiq had to find other ways to make a living.
These are recyclables I've collected from the boxes. He also picks up recyclables to sustain his living. He picks 10 ringgits worth of recyclables a day to sustain their living.
As volunteers deliver supplies and love, Rafiq can finally reunite with his family. Volunteers also wish the baby can grow up healthily and the family can start a new life. Ever since the pandemic broke out, many people in Malaysia have been facing financial difficulties. Farmers from Kapang Raja village decided to donate vegetables to people in need as they hope to support more people during the tough times. The recipients seized the occasion to express their gratitude to the farmers. Let's take a look.
Boxes of vegetables fill up the truck. These supplies of love came all the way to Kuala Lumpur's Jinjiang Tzu Chi Recycling Center.
This morning, we utilized 10 volunteers. Due to the movement control order, we cannot host too many people within the building.
师傅，你现在在做什么？
你要选出来啊，你是烂的，烂的不要选出来。好，我跟来选。
Volunteers organize vegetables, readying up to send these supplies to people in need.
Yeah, this is curry. Yeah, goreng also very nice.
We will eat these vegetables in a week because we can cook one batch today and another batch tomorrow. We don't need to cook it all at once since the price of vegetable is high right now. Like these vegetables right here, it costs over $1 if we buy it from the market.
These vegetables are good and fresh. The appearance also looks very nice.
Single parent Sun Chui Ying needs to look after 4 children. Though her income is unstable, she still insists on helping out her neighbor after receiving the vegetables.
I will cook dinner for my children with these vegetables, and if there are extra vegetables, I will give it to my neighbor. I normally provide extra food to my neighbors since they also look after me. They are also experiencing economic difficulties.
Vegetables weighing over 1,000 kilograms are distributed to 200 impoverished families through the help of volunteers. Within the recipients, there are also foreign workers, refugees, orphanage, and senior homes. As the pandemic broke out once more, the farming industry is heavily impacted. Farmers from Kampong Raja village responded to the call and donated vegetables to people in need.
Farmers will bring their vegetables to my truck at a set time, and through my trucks, vegetables will be transported to Kuala Lumpur. These farmers are very punctual. Today, I even received a call from a prominent farmer who's also a vegetable vendor. He asked me about the event and is willing to give vegetables 1 time per week. This vegetable donation event is meaningful since it helps everyone through the toughest times.
The vegetables of love from farmers are given to volunteers, then distributed to people in need. Let us hope the cycle of love continues.
In Kelantan, Malaysia, COVID Isolation Center has received double-deck beds from National Natural Disaster Management Commission. As a result, they could return 352 Jingsi folding beds to Tzu Chi. Volunteers went to isolation center to gather Jingsi folding beds and pack them for future use. Volunteers are replacing Jingsi folding beds with the double-deck beds provided by National Natural Disaster Management Commission.
Pihak Majlis Keselamatan Negara, Agensi Pengurusan Bencana Negara telah membeli katil-katil baru.
Due to the pandemic situation, National Natural Disaster Management Commission has bought new double-deck beds. Currently, these beds have been put into use, so we can return Jingsi folding beds to Tzu Chi. More than 2,000 local residents have used these Jingsi folding beds. Maybe in the future, Tzu Chi can help more people with these beds.
2,000 orang yang menggunakan katil ini dan mungkin pihak Tzu Chi boleh bersedia untuk memberi bantuan di masa yang akan datang pula.
At the isolation center, more than 20 volunteers help organize Jingsi folding beds, ready to disinfect them on the second day. Some community residents have stopped working due to the pandemic, and they have helped out, hoping to do their share to fight the pandemic.
因为这个疫情的关系，然后我的生意不能营业，变成
Due to the pandemic, I could not run my business. It happens that I could help Tzu Chi, so I used my truck and transported the disinfected Jingsi folding beds from the isolation center back to Tzu Chi's sister's factory. Then I organized them and placed them into boxes to be stored.
在这边重新把它整理，收进箱子，然后收起来了。
感谢七兰丹慈济给我。
I appreciate Kelantan Tzu Chi for giving me the opportunity to give of myself. I hope the pandemic ends soon and the society can return to its normal operation.
整个民生恢复正常。
Although volunteers work so hard that they're soaked with sweat, they're grateful that they can help fight the pandemic. In Australia, it is the winter now and the pandemic has not eased. So the volunteers in Adelaide have distributed winter clothes and blankets to low-income families and homeless individuals. In addition, volunteers invited hairstylists to provide free haircuts. The aid recipient expressed their gratitude for the volunteers. The winter clothes, including menswear, women's wear, and children's clothes, are placed neatly. This is not a second-hand clothes auction, but a winter clothes distribution Australia Adelaide volunteers have prepared for low-income families. Besides giving out winter clothes, volunteers have invited two hairstylists to cut people's hair for free.
I've also joined free haircut services in Taiwan, so after I came here, I wanted to do this. I'm very happy that I can help people in need.
I hope to join this kind of activities often, because helping people makes me very happy.
I'm so excited for coming here, so happy. My husband also haircut. My daughter, all daughter is 3 daughters. They are also want to be haircut. So excited, so happy. Thank you for helping our people.
Due to the pandemic, many people have lost their incomes and have become homeless. Volunteers have delivered blankets to them. Late into the night, the volunteers have provided love and care to the homeless individuals. During the pandemic period, many people worked from home. Now some people are starting to learn home sports and practice yoga with teachers online. They exercise to settle their minds and maintain body shapes. Because of these, many people have developed a good habit of regular exercise. Let's join them there.
After 2 weeks of the Level 3 alert, various online sports classes started at home.
Before I worked from home, basically I would do exercise every day. I mainly did yoga. I would also go diving during weekends. When the Level 3 alert was on, I was still in Green Island.
After returning to the main Taiwan island, the freelance worker who was used to go around suddenly realized that she could not go anywhere, which brought her great pressure.
Back then, I was mentally anxious and nervous. Then gymnasiums and yoga classrooms were closed. In fact, I am not quite used to it.
Sport lovers have nowhere to go, but some people started to adjust their lives.
Before I work from home, I exercise about twice a week. Sometimes if it rained or I was lazy, I didn't go attend sports classes. So in fact, my exercise volume and time were not enough.
欢迎大家来到线上，跟我们一起上今天的芳疗伸展。
刚开始的时候呢，其实
At the first 14 days of the Level 3 alert, I thought that I could thereby keep my children company. After that, the alert was further extended. Then I happened to meet a pretty student who invited me to open an online yoga class because she didn't feel well staying at home all day. I said it's fine, as someone suggested what I've always wanted to do.
In order to maintain the quality of the online class, the yoga teacher not only tried her best to set up live broadcast equipment, but also made special efforts to create a stress-relieving atmosphere during class.
I hope that by having a picture, for example, a lakeside scenery, combining with music can calm our mind, preventing it from getting affected by the pandemic. Today we will have a piece of music which I have sent to you before, so you can play it at home.
Through the pictures, one can think of being near a certain lake in North America. With the aid of essential oils, everyone can create a natural atmosphere of the national parks in North America at home.
This is the first time I do online yoga. I think it makes me feel more relaxed and at ease. As long as I spare yoga mats at home and turn on my computer and connect the internet, I can see my yoga teacher. It's very convenient. I like it.
During the anti-epidemic period, some people may feel very anxious, so I will take everyone to practice the law of breathing in my anti-epidemic yoga or take him to do some meditation activities. Meditation can help fight stress and relieve anxiety, making people more stable, more comfortable, and more relaxed. And through our heart and lung circulation, our heart and lung function will become better, and so does our blood circulation, which will drive the energy of our entire body, making the whole body healthier. We can also stretch all our lymph nodes located at armpits, near the neck, behind the ears, knees, and the entire chest. There are many other lymph nodes. I will stretch them out, which can allow everyone to improve immunity and resistance.
Frankly speaking, I was really anxious at the beginning because I don't know when the pandemic will be over, and I don't know if the vaccine is available for me. I will think a lot. Then through the online yoga classes, through physical exercise, I can release my psychological pressure. I think it is positive and helpful to me.
In fact, staying at home can also regain the habit of regular exercise. Let's rearrange our simple lives to retrieve our health and immunity, spending the difficult times together.
In the aftermath of a tornado in Auckland, New Zealand, Tzu Chi New Zealand chapter has been holding aid distributions. This aid program will last till end of July to help tornado-affected residents. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.